Today, let's talk about what it takes to create really valuable partnerships to help sell your online course. So let's get to it.
Welcome to the Course Creators HQ podcast, helping you navigate the latest techniques for creating and marketing online courses. And now, here's your host, Julie Hood.
Hey there, if there's one thing that could really move the needle in your business, it's a joint venture partnership that benefits both you and your partner in a really fantastic way. So before we get started, I have a couple more resources I want to tell you about, and I'll link to them in the show notes at coursecreatorshq.com/65. That's episode 65. And the first one is back in episode 35. I talked about more on exactly what is a joint venture and how do you find your partners. So if you're interested in that, please go back and listen to episode 35. And then the second thing I want to tell you about is a course I'm working on all about joint ventures for specifically course creators. And we're going to dig into the nuts and bolts of what it takes to find your perfect partners and sell more courses. So there'll be a link in the show notes to get more details on that. So here are my 5 ways to create joint ventures that actually succeed and can take your business to a whole new level, sell a whole bunch more courses, reach a whole bunch more students. And so the first one is I really want you to start early. And this is especially important if you are working on a launch. So last year when I did my launch in June, I actually started 3 months ahead of time. So I started at the beginning of March, connecting with people, getting them on board to be partners, started pulling the materials together, getting everything ready for them. And I will tell you, it works so much better that way because I was able to prepare them, prepare me. There are a lot of things that you have to pull together. So just having that extra time on top of your launch to work on the partnering side of things will make your life so much easier. So definitely start early and get people on board ahead of time so that you're not at the last minute kind of scrambling and trying to ask people to promote for you. The second thing is to remember that you are in it for the long haul. So you're trying to make partners who have a relationship with you and who want to continue promoting you way past this launch into future launches. And so several of my partners now have been around since the very beginning and we work together very frequently. I'm getting ready to promote one of their programs and then they're on board for my next launch of 24-hour course creator in January and February. And these are those deep relationships that can really make a difference in the long term. I was looking back at one of my clients and how long they had been working with some of their partners and how productive it was for them. And so that's the other piece of what you want to do. This isn't a one-shot promote me and we're all finished and woohoo on to the next thing. Like you're building these long-term relationships with the people who are perfect partners for you. Okay, number 3 is you really have to get organized. So there are lots and lots of moving pieces when you are creating a launch. And to get it to all work together smoothly, there's a bunch of different things that you need to think about. The first one is the exact dates when things are going to happen. So what date do people start promoting? Which of your things are they promoting? So is it a freebie? Is it a masterclass? Is it a challenge? And when are they? And giving them a couple weeks ahead of time to promote it. You can see you've really got to have all this put together. So I really like to give my partners a specific calendar that says, here's what you promote when, and that links exactly to what they are doing. The second thing is there's a lot of emails involved. So not only are you communicating with your partners, and depending on how frequently you do that, some launches I've been involved in, they're sending out emails every day. Now that's kind of a lot. It's usually the really complex launches that do that. But I could see during the actual phase of when you're launching, sending every 2 or 3 days and giving them the latest and greatest information. So you've got the emails that are going out to your partners while you are in the middle of launching. And in addition to that, ahead of time, though, you can write the emails that they are going to be sending for you. So remember, those emails are coming from them. So you have to word them differently. It's not like those emails are coming from you. Since they are sending out emails on your behalf, you write them from that perspective. So they're talking about being friends with you and how much they've enjoyed your materials and how much they like you. So those are written slightly differently. So want to get all that email stuff figured out. The third one is the technology, and this can trip up some folks along the way. So you have to come up with a tool, especially when you've got more than just 1 or 2 partners that you're working with. You want to have some technology that will do all the tracking for you. And by that, I mean it's a specific software where you give and create a default link, and then the software will create individual links for each of your partners to each of the things that they are promoting, whether it's your freebies or your actual course or your challenge or whatever it is you want them to promote. The software gives them unique links that then they share out with their audience. And because they're unique to each partner, that's how the software tracks who's sending you which lead. And then the second piece of that is that it's going to track the sales on the back end so that the sales show up for that particular partner. And when that happens, then you get the list out of the system on the back end of here's the commissions that you need to send out to your partners. So getting all that technology set up, there's kind of a lot of pieces to it. So you want to make sure you're organized and have that all set up as much ahead of time as you can. So those are the 3 big things, keeping up with all of those to get organized and having it all together. And I will tell you, there was a launch a few weeks ago that I was trying to participate in. They had given me the dates. I put it on my calendar for when I was planning to promote it. And then I didn't hear anything. So I took it off the calendar, and they sent stuff several weeks later. And I was like, yeah, you kind of missed your spot. I had you on my calendar for this week. So that doesn't leave a good taste in the mouth of your partners. So make sure you're organized and have your information together way, way, way ahead of time. Okay, number 4 is to really think about your customer's journey to find your best partners. And this goes back to thinking about the journey map and the way that your customers find you and the things that happen. So all of those triggers we talk about more in episode 61, if you want to go back and listen to that. But it's the different things that your potential students go through and the different things that happen to them along their journey towards having a course and then selling a course. So I'll give you some examples to make this a little bit more concrete on how this relates to your partners. So there's sort of 3 steps that my students go through. The first is that they get an idea for a course and they have to figure out, okay, what am I going to do about this? Or am I going to do this? The second one is they actually create the course, and that's where I help them with my 24-hour course creator program. And then the third one is that they have to market and sell the course. So that part where they are getting the ideas for a course, that can happen at a lot of different times and when they've got a lot of different things going on. So for example, let's say they're writing a book and they decide, hey, maybe I should add a course in this to get some more revenue. So for that specific situation, a good partner for me is book coaches, because they're helping their students put their books together. They can also then recommend me to help them get the course together. The other thing is podcasters. They need a way to get their subscribers to their podcast onto their email list. So I have a course specifically to help with putting your mini course together so that you can then get subscribers to your email list. So all those podcast coaches are all really good referrals for me. And then, so you go through and you kind of think about who's helping your people before they would need you, but not necessarily helping with the same thing that you do. So those are all the people who can help you. Those are all potential, what Jay Fizzette of JVology likes to call your upstream partners, because they are further up the stream before someone would get to you. And then your downstream partners are people that you would recommend. So you would be their partners. So, for example, I may have some PR people that would be fantastic partners for me, or maybe somebody that helps with Pinterest or somebody that helps with Instagram. Those kinds of things are partners that I can refer my course creators to, because they will need that to be able to sell their courses. So if you spend a little time sort of thinking through the journey that your customer is going through, it can really help you in finding the right partners to be those upstream partners who are catching your potential students before they need you, or right as they might need you. So that was number 4, using the customer's journey to find the best partners. And then our last one, number 5, is to make sure that the partnership that you're putting together is a win-win for both of you. And I've had this happen both ways for me. Sometimes the partnership is a really good referral for both of us, and it ends up being more of a long-term situation, and then sometimes it's not. And most of the time when it's not, it's because our audiences are not a good fit. Or I had one time where someone promoted me, but they were a health coach, and I said, my people are not all health coach, like it's not a good fit. My audience isn't going to be interested in how you are helping people. While I might be a good referral for you, we're not a good fit for me to send my people to you, because they're not going to be interested in what you're working on. So, and then I had another situation though that worked really, really well. I was on her summit, and she had me speak, and then quite a few of the people who were on that summit who were listeners were really fantastic partners for me and turned into some of my favorite students. So that was a good experience. And then in the past couple of months, I had another experience with a summit where the actual summit did not result in very many people signing up with me. I don't think she got the level of promotion that she was thinking from her summit speakers. And so we'll see, if she comes around and does part of my launch in the spring, then that'll be more of an equitable win-win, because I did a whole presentation for her summit and promoted her summit to my audience. So I'm hoping that she will then balance that out and promote my course to her audience, so that it's a win-win for both of us. And they don't always happen, at exactly the same time. Like I did that recently. My launch is coming up in February. But it's that long-term situation that you recognize, I want to build this long-term relationship with my partners so that then we can continue to work together in the future. So I hope those give you a few things to think about. The 5 things, just to recap for you. First one is to start really early. The earlier, the better. Second is to remember you are in it for the long haul, these relationships for the long-term goals of your business. The third one is to make sure you get organized. There's a lot of moving pieces. Number 4 is to use that customer's journey that your students are on to find the right people to be your partners. And then number 5 is to make sure the whole situation becomes a win-win for both of you, whether it's promoting each other or maybe it's just the referral income that they're going to earn from becoming a partner with you. Either one of those can make it a win-win. It's just if you have that determination at the beginning of your relationship of how you're planning to work together, makes it much more work together much more smoothly. So be sure and check out the show notes, coursecreatorshq.com/65. I'll have those links in there to the other episodes and the joint venture course that's kicking off this week. And I hope you can join us for that. And thanks so much for listening. Hope this gave you a few things to think about as you're driving around, listening in your car. I appreciate you listening and subscribing, following if you're on Apple Podcasts, or if you got anything helpful from this episode today. Really appreciate a 5-star review. It helps us spread the word and get in front of more course creators. So thanks so much. Have an amazing, fantastic week. And I hope you have some joint venture partners who are able to take your business to a whole new level, like some of my clients have done. I was looking back at the numbers and you would be surprised at how much of an impact the right joint venture partners can have as far as helping not only with revenue, but helping with getting connections and getting in front of more partners. And it's sort of this snowball effect as you get things going that can really impact your revenue long term, so you can get to that 5 and 6 figure level of sales with your course. Take care. Have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you next time.